What's up, everybody? I'm Marjorie, and you're watching Ask at DeadEndHipHop. I'm here with Raphael, B, Ken, Mike, and we also have Iz as a special guest today. Recently, there's been a lot of controversy behind Lil Wayne and Rick Ross. Are you guys familiar with some of those offensive lyrics that were put out?
I'm not.
Well,
read them.
Well, Lil Wayne said something along the lines of something offensive about Emmett Till.
Beat that pussy.
I don't want
I was trying to get her to say it.
I don't want to say it.
I was trying to get her to say it. I want to hear her say it too.
I'm not.
What is I couldn't hear
Everyone knows I'm not going to say that.
Come on.
I'm not going to say that. They know I'm not going to say that. I don't say that. And then also Rick Ross like had a whole song about date raping a girl with drugs.
It was a line.
Well, to me, the song was about rape. Okay, so recently Rick Ross has apologized for the lyrics, but the drama hasn't really died down, and a radio station, I'm not sure which one it is. Do you guys know which radio station it is?
It's one in Michigan and it's one in, you said Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 radio stations.
Yeah.
As of right now.
As of now, they've banned those 2 artists. So, you know, Ashlyn Bell wants to know, what do you guys think about the radio stations banning these artists? Do you think it's effective, necessary?
That's Rick Ross calling right now.
Stop talking about my shit.
You think it's effective, a good idea, bad idea?
Man, personally, I think it's a damn great thing. I think it's a great thing. I think that, you know, as a society, if you don't feel like that represents your radio station, or, you know, just as a whole, if you don't condone that type of actions in music, then ban that shit. Ban that shit.
So what if they just play 2 Chainz if they're not playing Rick Ross and Lil Wayne?
Yeah. Put it like this, man. But 2 Chainz is funny, man. 2 Chainz is party music.
He is
like
funny.
2 Chainz ain't talking about date raping people and beat the pussy up like Emmett Till. Like, okay, but 2 Chainz does have lines.
Birthday is a big booty hoe.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
just about to
he
say.
okay.
Come on, dog.
All right, but shit. But how many dudes don't want a big booty hoe for their birthday? I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I feel you, but it doesn't have to be like Emmett Till. It doesn't have to be to that degree.
Beat the pussy like Pacquiao.
That's fine.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I knock you out like.
What if all the Spanish community got mad because they talking about Pacquiao?
Filipino.
Yeah, he's not Spanish.
Oh.
Philippines.
What if all the Filipino dudes got mad?
And then they should ban Lil Wayne on the Philippine radio
that's
station.
not offensive. How is that
It's not, because
offensive?
he his ass live. He just got knocked the F
How is that
out.
offensive?
And he can.
And we know.
I'm not saying that it was offensive.
But his ass.
I'm not saying that.
No, I know.
No, I'm saying if we're gonna make the rule for one thing, we need to make it all the way across the board. This is borderline censorship. An artist should be able to say, I agree with you that if you're a radio station and you're standing up for what you believe in, you should say, hey, we're not gonna play this shit. But at the same time, that's a slippery slope because now you're drifting into censorship.
Well, I don't think that they should ban the artist. I think they should ban that song.
That was my question.
What good is that gonna do? You're just banning one song.
What Rick Ross has said has been said before in songs numerous times in hip hop, and now people want to be get in an outrage about it all. You know, and is that song really being played on the radio? I don't know. I'm really asking.
I have no idea.
It is. It's not like a heavy rotation, but you hear it.
Who else is on the song? Rocco. What's Rocco said? I mean, not that anybody really listens to what Rocco says, but what has Rocco said, if anybody knows?
And that song is just all about like things you didn't know. Like the guy saying, Rocco saying like, this is a $2 million watch you didn't even know. So that's the whole basis of the song. It's like shit that you didn't even know. So that's why Ross was like, I put this mile in your thing, I went home and enjoyed it. You didn't even know.
I didn't want to cut you off while you were talking. But no, I meant like, what has he actually said like to the public about the track? Has he said, yeah.
Is it safe to say going forward, next time someone else says something that's deemed highly offensive, that's just going to be the trend now to just ban them? Or
I'm not saying that should be the trend. I'm not saying that that's the end all be all. You know, but sometimes, you know, the media and public outrage makes decisions. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the Emmett Till one, I think that's definitely because of public outrage, and I think that the date rape one was because more of morals. Like, that's not what we condone, so we're not gonna play it. And I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to do, but I feel like if that's how you feel, then that radio station should have the right to be like, you know what, we don't condone date rape and this type of stuff, so we're not gonna play this song.
I always wonder, like, well, how does someone gauge what's highly offensive and what's not? Because I've heard a lot of stuff that I think is highly offensive.
Thing.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's subjective.
So
You know,
I think with the whole subject of rape, I mean, we all know about the Steubenville case, so I think it's really a sensitive issue at this time because of what happened in Steubenville with them kids raping that girl that was intoxicated. So I think that's why when you have that lyric and people hear that lyric, I think that's why people are kind of a little bit sensitive to it, because they're seeing this play out in the media and basically pretty much a public forum, and these kids went to jail for that shit. So I think that's why they're saying that this is offensive, even though it's been in Eminem's lyrics, Tyler's lyrics,
that's what I'm saying,
and all over the place.
These lyrics been going on for years. It's like, why jump on Rick Ross case all of a sudden just for the one line that he said? You know what I'm saying? Like,
with that said, how you feel about it?
I mean, I don't think they should. They should have been banning lyrics a long time ago. If that's the case, if you want to ban the lyric that Rick Ross said, that one lyric that Rick Ross said, then why not ban the previous outrage lyrics that's been going on? So that's how I feel about it.
I mean, but do you think it needs to start at some point?
No. I mean, people gonna still say extreme. I mean, MCs gonna still say extreme stuff regardless if they try to make a stand now or not. You know what I'm saying?
So you saying they should have that freedom to say what they want to say?
I mean, artists been saying it for a long time, so why try to put a stop to it now?
Well, I think it comes back down to like the type of artist you are. Like on the 12 Kyle show, like, you know, Rick Ross doesn't portray himself like that. Yeah. Eminem, you know, he was sarcastic with it. He was funny with it. He was witty with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that makes it okay, but it's like you expect that from that artist. You don't expect that from this artist. And I'm not, again, I know the type of hole that I'm kind of digging, like, oh, well, if you don't rap about it, then you do it, then you should be banned. I'm not saying that at all. Again, I think that the media had a lot to do with it. But, you know, I don't know, man. I definitely think it's a touchy subject. But I think artists like M and Tyler, they get away with it because that's what they're known for. That's what I rap about. You know what I'm saying? Ross is like, I'm this drug kingpin. Like, a boss doesn't have to do that. That's my thing.
But he's still influencing, though. He's an influencing person, a figure, just like Eminem and Tyler, the creator.
I agree,
you know
but it's what you expect out of artists. I don't see Eminem back when he was Slim Shady and all of that. When he first came out, he was raw. That's who he was.
I think for me, it's not about what kind of artist it is. At the end of the day, it's still a lyric. You still saying it, and you still got young people following you. So regardless if it's a Tyler or Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, they're gonna still follow that, regardless of whatever lane they were in.
Yeah, but you know, they don't need Rick Ross to tell them to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, you know, are already doing this shit anyway on colleges and high school.
Right.
You know, the females are just afraid to come forward and report it.
I think it's a slippery slope. I think it's cool that you have a radio station that's willing to stand up for what they believe in. At the same time, it turns into, where is this going to go? And how many radio stations are really going to participate in this? Because the thing about it is, radio stations play this shit because they get money. You know, they get money from the label, they get money from the views, or from the, you know, the hits or whatever you call it. So how many radio stations are really going to get behind this? Their purpose is to make money. It's not to instill moral guidance to anybody. But at the same time, I agree with people. I think it's great that you have radio stations saying, we don't care about making money. We're cool. Fuck that shit. We don't stand behind this. We're gonna ban it. But then what if the next situation comes up where, you know, a questionable line is in a song and the public opinion is, we want this song banned. Right. How far is this gonna go? That's my whole thing, and I don't want this to turn into a censorship situation. Clearly, I don't endorse Rick Ross, period, as an artist. You know, whatever. Fuck him as an artist, a record label, and a motherfucking crew. But at the same time, I do support his right to say whatever he wants to say. And it's your job as a consumer as a consumer to say, we don't want to hear this. It shouldn't take the fucking radio station banning Rick Ross. It should take a bunch of fans standing up saying, we don't support this, and we don't want to hear this song. If motherfuckers weren't asking for this shit, it wouldn't be playing on the fucking radio anyway. So if anybody wants to be blamed, blame the fucking community for not standing up and saying fuck Rick Ross. I ain't blaming the radio stations. Their job is to make money. Our job is to say that we don't want to hear this shit on the radio. And we don't want to tell people like Rick Ross that it's okay for you to say that I rape motherfuckers. And it's okay for you to do it too because I do it and I'm talking to you about it.
But isn't that partly what the community has done?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As a whole, I don't think so.
Well, not
only,
okay.
I'm talking about the hip hop community.
Yeah, not as a complete 100% whole, but at the end of the day, there are listeners that was like, yo, now fuck it with this. Y'all better do something about it. They did something about it. So I don't think that this was solely off of like the producer of the radio station hearing it and being like, nah. I think that it was people talking. I think that it has been in the media and they made a decision. So,
right there. It's been in the media. That's the reason it's happening.
I agree.
I'm talking about the hip hop community as a whole should have stood up and said, yo, that's taking shit too far. And they didn't do that. If we're gonna act like, you know, we're trying to change the face of hip hop and we're trying to be so morally righteous now, like B said, we should have stood up a long fucking time ago when this shit was getting popular. Rape is not new. Rape in lyrics is not new.
But I think it should start somewhere.
No, I agree. It should start somewhere. But is this the best place to start just because Rick Ross said it and
Well, Rick Ross is a popular genre.
so was Eminem.
Yeah.
So was Eminem, and no one said shit because he was the zany white guy.
He was talking about keeping the girl in the trunk. What was that song? He locked some lady in the trunk.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I think a lot of women were outraged about that.
But nothing happened, did it?
Of course, nothing
That's
happened.
what I'm saying. Now, all of a sudden, Rick Ross does it, and everybody's bugging out. I'm not trying to make this a race thing because it's not at all.
I didn't think so.
At all. But I'm just saying why all of a sudden now our motherfuckers want to act like we're taking a stand. Where would your stand 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
And again, I think to answer that, I think it's just the lane. And that's why that's the only thing I got, because that's what Eminem built his career on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that anybody really took him that serious. Obviously, Kim is still alive.
Social media back then either.
Yeah, not like how it is now. Yeah,
so
definitely not.
Now everybody can fucking speak and have their voice heard in some form or fashion. Whereas back then, you relied on the gatekeepers to bring that stuff to you.
So again, man, I'm with Mike, man. It's a slippery slope. I'm with Rod. I think that it has to start somewhere. I'm with everybody. Everybody has a valid point.
Yeah.
There's no true definite right or wrong in this, because this is such a big gray area. It's not black and white at all. It's such a big gray area. So, you know, I don't know. What do y'all think, man? Put that shit in the comments.